Wow, thank you so much. I have to say, when we came here in the year 2000, actually 1999, this was hard to imagine. Um, coming from Belgium, coming from Argentina, this was not something that we foresaw. At the time, actually, we thought we'd be here for 6 months, and that would be it. But what we found here is an old Kentucky home. And when people ask me, what is it that you love so much about Louisville, what you love so much about Kentucky, I say it's authenticity. This is a place where people are who they are, show you who they are, and include you. I think that at the end of the day, to find happiness in life, we all need to find a place of belonging. And think about how weird and strange it is for somebody in their early 20s, coming from Belgium and ending up in Louisville, Kentucky, of all places, and for the first time found a place where they feel they belong. And it's hard for me to express my gratitude towards all of you. I mean, not just the mentors, not just the many people that helped us to do what we did, but this common sentiment that reigns within this community is so unbelievably special. And I thought I'd give you just one very brief story, because that authenticity, I think, translated into what ultimately led to all of the other things in a butterfly kind of event as they ended up being. And that is when, in 2003, I wanted to start my first endeavor. And as Claudio aptly outlined, I had absolutely zero business experience at the time. My two close friends and co-founders at the time were at Harvard, doing very important things. And we were on calls together, and we said, look, we need to start a company together. Let's do this in Louisville, Kentucky. They were a little bit taken aback, but we said, okay, if I can raise $300,000, that was the deal, then you will all pack up your bags and come to Louisville, Kentucky. So I went around and did my first pitching exercise, and at the time, I did not know the difference between a soft commitment and money in the bank. So when I found a couple of very eager individuals that I think were just, older gentlemen wanting to make me feel better, had made their soft commitments, I called my friends, I said, get in your cars, pack up your families, it's time to go. So when they got here and it became clear that we didn't have that, it was quite stressful. And at the time, I was delegated to New York to speak with people in the big leagues to try to raise money. And I still remember at the time going around and practicing my pitching skills. And this was not going very well. I was going from one room to another. I was starting to get really pretty desperate. Until one time, I walked into the office of somebody who was deceased in the meantime, at 1221 Avenue of the Americas on the 30th floor, which was at Morgan Stanley, and it was called Jurassic Park. Because there were the dinosaurs of Morgan Stanley. And I walked into a room with somebody called Fred Whittemore, Uncle Fred, they called him on Wall Street. And I felt a kinship to this man. He and I sat there, and I'm like, he can see me. And at the end of the hour, I had done my whole shtick, and he looks at me, he's like, yeah, not really convinced. And I went home, went to the hotel, slept all night, and in the morning I got up, got a bottle of wine. I went back into the office, gave it to his assistant. I said, I need to see this man again. And I waited, and in the end, he walked by, and he looked at me, and I'm like, can I have 5 more minutes? And we sat down, and I said, look, Mr. Whittemore, everything you told me yesterday is true. We don't have anything. But the 2 people I work with are the best people I ever met, and we're going to do all we can to make this happen. And he looked at me, then he went to his intercom, and he said, Sheila, write me a check for $100,000, please. And I was like, really? Is this how it's done? And the truth is, that is how it's done. That is how it's done. It is done by being yourself, by committing yourself to the grand prize, by committing yourself to the people that are around you, by being honest, transparent, and dedicated to the greater purpose. So I have so many people to thank you, but I have a special table over there with people that are incredibly close and important to me. And I'm going to start with Juliana and Jorge. Juliana, the mom of my kids, who came with me in the year 2000. We raised our 2 beautiful children together. Jorge, her boyfriend, who is, second father to my children and one of my very close friends as well. Then Lucas and Soledad, my best friends in Louisville, who can party like nobody knows and has any idea about. Mary Beth Garner, who is my assistant for life. I mean, she complains about it sometimes, but there's no way out, I'm sorry. Tonya, who organizes the best derby party, in case you didn't know. And then my betrothed, my love, Aliyah Werner, and she and I are going to step into the ship of love starting next year. So I want to thank you all for this incredible privilege. It's an honor, and go Kentucky.